What's up, everybody? Mike Dolce, four-time world MMA trainer of the year, and that is me with my shirt off to share with you the top 3 mistakes you are currently making that are inhibiting your fat loss. I wanted to help you guys immediately start losing body fat. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to go anywhere. These are things you are doing in your life right now, following all the faux fitness frauds running around with no clue of what to do, or worse yet, trying to steer you wrong to buy their silly pills, products, and programs that don't do anything to help you. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is the over-restriction of carbohydrates. We hear it all the time, carbs will make you fat. This propelled the Paleolithic diet, the ketogenic diet, the carnivore diet, many terms or versions of the fasting diet. When we have enough data that clearly shows these diets are not as effective as a well-balanced omnivorous meal plan, which includes proper carbohydrates. When I say the over-restriction of carbohydrate, why is that? Carbohydrates, more importantly, glucose, is the primary fuel source for the human body. The primary fuel source for muscular activity, the primary fuel source for cognitive function. The over-restriction of carbohydrates will create a reduction in athletic performance, which is your ability to exercise, to train, to make gains, but also it will improve, or I should say, it will reduce your ability to make good decisions in the general day. All of this data is out there. Feel free to do a little Google Scholar search and you'll find it all. But listen to Uncle Mike right now, 4-time world MMA trainer of the year, #1 best-selling author in the fitness space, and the most sought-after coach in all of professional sports, as termed by Sports Illustrated. This information makes me no money. It simply provides value to you. So #1, the over-restriction of carbohydrate creates a reduction in performance, which then allows you to train less, or forces you, I should say, forces you to train less. You simply don't have enough gas in the tank. You don't have enough gas in the tank, which reduces caloric expenditure through athletic expression. That's the term that we use for exercise. So let me jump on to #2. #2 is you train incorrectly. You spend too much time in the medium zone, not enough time in the lower zone or the higher zone. What does this mean? You're spending too much time performing MISS, moderate intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity. You're spending too much time running and jogging and rowing and ellipticaling and pelotoning, not enough time fasted low intensity training, and not enough time high intensity interval training. Now we'll talk about resistance training in a moment. So what does this mean? Most people you see in the gym, they're clumping away on the treadmill, running and running and running away on the treadmill. And you look at them and you say, you know what? That guy, that gal, they're kind of skinny fat. They're kind of chunky. They're kind of chubby. They don't have a lot of muscle mass. They're not exactly overweight per se, but they're not really in good shape. Why is that? They spend too much time in the middle zone, and this is probably you. You get on the treadmill, you run your 3 miles or so in 30 minutes. That's fine to do it once or twice a week, but are you performing low-intensity, steady-state cardiovascular activity while fasted, taking advantage of the biochemical creation of reduced insulin levels and the positive effect on the alpha beta receptors inside the fat cell? Most likely you're not. This is where LIST training comes in: low intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity performed while fasted, which is in the absence of insulin, preferably first thing in the morning. This will have a greater reduction of total stored body fat than nearly any other style of training, simply because the presence of insulin reduces the body's ability to freely release stored body fat, or specifically in those stubborn gender-specific cells. For me, it's my love handles. You can't really tell in this beautiful video right here, but when I get a little heavy, a little fluffy, man, those love handles fill up first, and they are the hardest to come off. I got to diet pretty dang hard to get that sculpted little waistline you see right there. It's a pain in the ass. I get that by adding and focusing more on my list training than anything else. So number one is the over elimination of carbohydrates. You need proper carbohydrates. The average person probably anywhere between 125 to 300 grams of carbohydrates while on a shredding program. You can click the links below this video, look at our 4-week or 12-week personalized 3 weeks to shredded plan or Living Lean program, a completely online personalized plan that's there for anyone looking for specific instruction, utilizing all of the science we discuss here. My team of registered dietitians, certified trainers, exercise physiologists have created this and constantly update and refine it for you so you don't have to think about it. It's literally like setting the GPS to your future body. Click the links below. The third portion of this is you don't train heavy enough to burn body fat. This blows people's minds. When we go into a fat loss cycle with our elite athletes, the first thing we say is, how do we build muscle? How do we build muscle while losing body fat? Let's focus on building muscle. It's always the first conversation we have with our team. How do we build muscle while getting ripped, getting shredded, getting lean? Because most of our athletes compete at the world-class and Olympic level. They cannot afford to lose muscle mass. So we don't say, well, how do we hold on to muscle mass? We say, how do we build muscle mass? Because if we focus on adding muscle mass, worst case scenario, we maintain what we had. Most of the time, you do not train heavy enough. You don't train intensely enough. You don't handle the proper tonnage, the proper load during your training. We want to make sure you're training at least 3 days per week. High intensity resistance training, progressive overload, adding weights with better form, adding reps with better form. You must be, and usually 4 days per week seems ideal. Hitting each muscle group twice per week seems ideal when you're trying to get shredded, simply because we don't have the over surplus of calories to put us into a 3-day per week rotation, the every other day rotation. So we typically say twice a week. A push-pull system or a push-pull leg system works pretty dang well. A 45-minute push-pull legs run concurrently 1 to 2 days off per week works really well in a fat loss phase. So number one, stop over-restricting carbohydrates. Number two, train more in the lower end and the higher end. 45 minutes of fasted lists, 20 minutes of fed hit high intensity interval training. Most of you are already getting closer to that due to your missed training. At the end, you typically go a little too hard. So I'm going to really have you focus on the list training. And number three is you need to start training heavier. 8 to 10 repetitions, approximately 3 sets. 80 to 85% of your 1 rep maximum is a great place to start with multi-joint compound movements. Guys and gals, I hope you appreciate this video. Subscribe to this channel. I don't often ask. Subscribe if you don't. We've seen a shedding of our subscribers due to the YouTube algorithm. Give us a little bump on this video. This is all free, all easy content. Bang! Give this video a thumbs up if you have not yet. If you watch that, I just ask you just this one video, give me a thumbs up and leave comments below, ask questions below, whatever we can do to help you. I am here for you. We have a lot of great content coming up in the next week. Go back and watch our Joe DeFranco video, our Andy Galpin video. We got Stan Efferding coming up, Dr. Bo Hightower coming up. If you're watching this on the replay, definitely click the video link above. We have an amazing database of great content all for you. I appreciate you guys being here. And until next time, go.